you're going to love this next recipe. It's my self-saucing chocolate pudding, and what I'm going to do is pop a marshmallow meringue on top. So yummy and lots of easy measurements to remember. So what I have here is just a glass bowl and some water underneath it. So this has just been simmering. We want to melt our chocolate with some butter. Now this is 200 grams of really good quality chocolate for this because you will taste the difference. So 200 grams of 70% dark chocolate. So when you're using a double boiler, you want to ensure that you turn the heat on and just put it on a very low heat. If it's rapidly boiling, it may seize our chocolate. Just want to gently melt this with our butter. And the second packet will pop in there. Now I've also measured out 1 cup of water in my pot, and the reason I've done that is because I'll be using that water to create a gorgeous glossy sauce to go with our pudding. So good. Okay, now for the butter, again 200 grams of butter. We'll pop that in with our chocolate, and I always like to use a metal spoon when I'm combining them both, so just mix that. Okay, we're going to let that gently melt away and we'll get on with the rest of the batter. So in a bowl, we're going to crack 4 eggs straight in. 1, 3, and the last one. And all up, we'll need 1/3 cup of caster sugar, but for now, I just need a few tablespoons, so 2 tablespoons. And I'll whisk this until the sugar has dissolved. You don't need to over whisk this so it's double in size and fluffy. Essentially, just dissolving and combining the sugar and our eggs. Done, we'll pop that to the side. Now for the self-saucing part. So we will be using that water for the self-saucing side, but also for the chocolate sauce, we need the rest of this sugar along with some cocoa powder, and we'll combine that together and then give that a little mix, and that will be on the top of the batter. Let's have a look at this chocolate. It's nearly there. Just frequently stir that. And once that's completely melted in together, take it off the heat and allow it to cool so it's not piping hot. I'm going to be mixing this chocolate mixture with our egg mixture, and if I add that when it's really hot, it may affect the result. So let everything come to the same temperature and then we'll continue. Look at that glossy chocolate. Could just drink that. But no, I will refrain until the end. Now it has cooled down, so I'm pretty happy with that. And we're going to stir this molten chocolate in with our eggs. So if I added that when it was really hot, we'd just get scrambled eggs. We're not wanting that at all. And you'll see how it starts to thicken up. We'll just use a spatula just to scrape all that chocolate down. We want it all in this batter. Excellent. And for the rising agent, some flour, 1/3 cup of self-raising flour. We'll just sprinkle that in. Now we'll just give this a gentle whisk and just fold in the flour. We just want to make sure that there's no lumps and it's evenly combined. Okay, let's place this into a baking dish. This is a 1.5 litre baking dish. I've just greased it with some butter. I'll take that whisk out and we'll use this spatula just to add this mixture into the dish. So with this spatula, I'll spread this out. It will rise, so don't worry about that. And don't forget, we've also got a layer of meringue. And for our cocoa and sugar mixture, we're going to sprinkle this generously over the top. So now we're forming the self-saucing part of this pudding, and that's a combination of this cocoa and sugar and boiling water. Spread it out. And now for that boiling water, we're just going to pour that over. It seems kind of strange to do this. Like, this is not going to work, but I promise as this starts to bake in the oven, this water is going to evaporate, but leave a gooey center and also the cake crust on top. And the last little addition to this chocolate pudding is some raspberries. I love chocolate and raspberries. They work so nicely together. So I'm just going to dot them into our batter, and as it cooks, they'll start to break down and become almost jam-like. So a whole punnet and fresh raspberries for this. The frozen raspberries will just be a little bit too watery. Okay, into the oven, 200 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. You just want a slight wobble in the center. Okay, so while that's cooking in the oven, we can prepare our meringue. Now, I'm going to be using a powder mix meringue. This is fantastic because all you need to do is add 300 grams of this, which is about 1 packet, into a food processor. You could also use a whisk for this. And I just need to add half a cup of water to this. And I'll whisk this for about 10 minutes or until it's the perfect peak, and that'll be ready to go on top of our delicious chocolate pudding. Pudding is out of the oven. I'm pretty impressed. You can see these little raspberries are still intact on the top, but down the bottom they'll be all soft, and these little puddles of chocolate sauce. This is going to be pretty good. And now for our meringue. This has been whipping for 10 minutes. It's super glossy. We'll take it off the machine. Look at that. See how it's holding its shape? So we'll just take the whisking element out, scrape that down, and we're going to dollop this all over the top. Almost is going to resemble clouds of marshmallow. This recipe I actually added to my book, The Weeknight Cookbook, because I love it that much. And when my friends come over for dinner, this is the dessert that they request. And you can see it's pretty easy to put together. Now, just with your spatula, you want to spread all of this meringue out. You don't want to take it all the way to the sides because we do want to expose the chocolate underneath. So just spread it, leaving about a 2 centimetre border, and then use your spatula to roughen it up slightly. And to make this look extra special, I'm going to use my blowtorch just to burn the top, so we've almost got a burnt marshmallow flavour. So we'll just turn that on and just lightly burn it on the top. When you're using a blowtorch, you want to make sure that you're constantly moving it in a circular motion so it evenly colours, just like you were doing a creme brulee. Done! How great does that look? It smells so good. Obviously, I need to taste this. I'm just going to take that off the tray, and I'll take this little corner over here where I saw the extra saucy component. Yum. Just on the plate. Make sure you get some of those berries. And let's try some of this. Oh, yum. So gooey in the centre and then cakey on the side. There's never a bad time for chocolate pudding, but you've got chocolate pudding, gooey chocolate sauce, fluffy meringue, slightly burnt on the top to make it burnt marshmallow-like, and then raspberries. Win, win, win. Make this at your next dinner party. You're going to be very popular, I think.